on the record.
We are on the record in the Lovelady matter, case D19-593-140D. If you're here on the Lovelady matter, please confirm your appearances.
Good morning, Judge. Audrey Beeson, bar number 10511, on behalf of the plaintiff, Jessica Lovelady, who is present by video.
Good morning.
And good morning, Your Honor. Louis Schneider, 9683, on behalf of Michael Lovelady. He's the father. He's present here with me in my office on Blue Jays.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michelle Hauser, bar number 7738, guarding ad litem.
Good morning. And I appreciate your appearances, and I do see both parties present. So this is our status check. Where do we stand?
Your Honor, Audrey prepared a decree the last time we were in court, and I got a little bollocksed up in the numbers. So I don't know if you're aware of this, but Joe Bunin is my law clerk and writes for me. And so I said, Joe, please go over these numbers with me. So Joe took that portion of the file and all of the notes. And Judge, about a week ago, his brother got killed on a trip to Hawaii, Dan Bunin. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I did hear the news, and I'm sorry to hear that.
So Joe has completely shut down. He's been making arrangements. He got his brother's body flown back. He's making funeral arrangements. I've not been able to talk to Joe. He's not even responding to me at this point, Judge. So Audrey's upset with me, and rightfully so, because I haven't been able to get back to her with these numbers. I need a little bit of time, Judge. I don't know that anybody's prejudiced by taking just a little bit more time, but that's the issue with the decree. It's my fault. I throw myself on the mercy of the court.
Okay. All right, Ms. Beeson.
And Judge, I understand Mr. Schneider's conundrum, but this was set out 3 weeks. There was the first 2 weeks. It was represented to me that I would have something within the first week. I didn't even get the courtesy of a response when I tried to follow up. I've not gotten the courtesy of a response from Dad about the total amount that he has paid Ms. Hauser, which is not complicated. I've thrown out 2 different numbers. I'm charging my client to look at invoices. And at this point, Judge, I appreciate Mr. Schneider's confusion about the pre-tax and post-tax, but I've thrown out a very simple, easy solution. Mr. Lovelady cashes out what he's entitled to from the 401k. He pays his penalties, he pays his taxes, he pays the cash amount to my client, and then we'll know what the difference is. But here we are, 125 days since the April hearing, and I can't even get the total amount Mr. Lovelady has paid to the GAL. That's not complicated. And here we are 334 days since my client has had her child in her care. And I seem to be the only one that is outraged at this. And so, yes, my client is prejudiced because it's been 125 days since the April hearing. It's been 68 days since I sent the order over in June. She's got nothing. She has no money that she's entitled to. They haven't even offered, hey, let us give you $2,000 towards the money that we owe. Nothing. So the only person who's prejudiced here today is my client. And she has been patient. If you recall, Judge, Mr. Schneider's wife was in an accident. We had to stop trial. Ms. Hauser's office was affected by COVID. We had to push everything out. She has been patient. We are not inconsiderate. We are not monsters. But my client is entitled to closure. This has been going on far too long.
Okay. What would you be asking me to do, Ms. Beeson, today?
I would like to send the order to the department in Word that I sent to Mr. Schneider. I need Mr. Lovelady to confirm what he paid to Ms. Hauser, not what's in trust, not what's been discounted, not what he's been billed, but what he has paid. And then I can put in that Mr. Lovelady will get the 401k, cash it out, and then we can figure out the difference after that. But I have an order. There's just a few issues that need to be finalized. So I would like to be able to send that to the department, copy Mr. Schneider, and have the court approve that with or without Mr. Schneider's approval.
I'm not in agreement with all of the numbers that Audrey has put out there. She's taking percentages of pre-tax dollars and trying to mixing them with whole tax dollars, Judge. And I just want to do separate quadros on everything. I don't want to try and match it up ahead of time. I just don't agree with it. I'm not an accountant. It's not my line of work. I mean, at least let me get a CPA to look at it. Or do you have an accountant, Mike? And Mike has answered those questions about how much money he's paid Michelle. We do have additional information, but we are in disagreement. I mean, for instance, Mike took a loan out against the cars, but he's paying that money back. Now Audrey wants her client to get the same $15,000, but not pay it back. That's not fair. That's not accurate. My client's paying that money back. He takes the debt. So that's a zero. She doesn't get a $15,000 credit. I mean, yes, he got 15 grand, but now he's got the loans to go with it. Now mom wants $15,000, but not pay it back. That's wrong. That's incorrect.
Okay. Let me just ask, Ms. Hauser, as the guardian ad litem, anything from your standpoint as the guardian ad litem as to where things stand?
Yes, and I'm surprised Ms. Beeson said that I'm not upset about Abby's relationship with mom, because I'm not happy at the progression either. And I talked to Ms. Beeson individually. I sent an email to talk to all counsel, but Mr. Schneider had not responded. So I said, look, if you guys can't coordinate, I'll talk to you guys individually. Call me on my cell phone when you're available. And Ms. Beeson did reach out to me. I'm not happy about the progress Abby's making. I've spoken to Abby. I've spoken to Dr. Hart. And things need to change quickly by both parents. Very quickly. Because Abby, at some level, has been empowered to think she's a shot caller. I don't know how else to say it, but that she can call the shots. And that's inappropriate. Looking at her report card, it does seem she's doing better in person. Over the summer, she got a D in English online, but then took in person and got an A. And Mr. Lovelady provided that to me this morning. But what I'm concerned about is nobody's monitoring Abby's school. The parents are not co-parenting. For example, Abby was upset that her mom did not go to a school function, which I understand why her mom wasn't there given the parameters Abby has set forth. Like, if I was mom, I probably wouldn't have gone either. And that issue is a parenting issue. These two parents need to grow up quickly. And I need to see action, not words. From Mr. Lovelady, he says, I support the relationship, but his actions are not consistent. Abby missed a visitation with mom in July because she had COVID. I understand that. And once she tested negative, Dad took Abby on 3 vacations. Well, no, mom should have had, the visitation is like 2 hours at best. Mom, the first priority is getting Abby healthy. Then mom should have been the next priority before a vacation. These parents need to co-parent. Dad needs to be asking and inviting mom to all the school functions and telling Abby, I have invited your mom and I expect you to treat her with respect. She's your mom. Likewise, mom dropped off a bag of clothing to the house and didn't coordinate with Dad. So Abby got triangulated and then she got mad. Well, no, that communication should have gotten Dad. They need to be in the same room together, Your Honor, and show Abby that they're going to co-parent and they're going to work together as a team and not be torn apart. So I'm not happy with either parent or the progression with Abby, and they need to get their act together. Because Abby is not old enough or mature enough to be making all these big decisions. So what I'd like to see, and I've made it very, very clear to Abby that this is going to stop, and if I don't see progression, maybe we'll have to find another counselor, because this is not appropriate. We gave her an opportunity, but I need to see the parents doing better. And what I've talked to Ms. Beeson about is, one, I'd like to see the parents on OFW where they co-parent, where Dad, who does have de facto primary custody, he is the gatekeeper, is informing mom, hey, this is, her next school session or whatever's going on, and we'd like you to be there. These are Abby's doctor's appointments. So, and we want you to be part of it so that Abby sees the parents are a unit, not, I really like Dad because Dad is letting Abby call too many shots. And mom is probably a little bit harsher. They need to come together. So I'd like to see the parents on OFW. I'd like to see Dad in individual counseling. Mom is in individual counseling, But now Dad needs to improve his parenting. I mean, Abby's grades last year were horrific. I understand all children struggled with online schooling, but that does not mean that you don't check up on your kids and make sure homework's turned in timely. That's a sign of immaturity. Both parents should be online, checking to make sure homework's done on time, and both parents should be communicating as a team to Abby that this is not acceptable and this is the consequence. Not one parent so the other parent looks like the bad parent. They need to be doing that together. So I want to see Dad in individual counseling ASAP. I want to see them in OFW. And Abby has indicated in June that the last visitation with Mom showed up impaired. I find that interesting, and I don't think that's true, but I don't know. I can hear Mom say no and shake her head no, and Abby's going to say yes. So what I would like is the Mom to do the breathalyzer test through SoberLink on the next 3 visitations. Abby should not know. So that means no parent or attorney tells Abby or Dr. Hart. And then I can see that, and the court can see that Mom wasn't impaired. And if Abby comes back to me and says Mom was impaired, we have a different issue. And that cost should be, for the next 3 encounters, should be equally divided, because I think both parents are causing this stress on Abby. And I'd like to see them go to UNLV or some type of co-parenting class. They've got to get over their dislike of each other. They just do. They've got to be a team. And then maybe have a status check. But I've made it very clear to Abby, I expect her to see her mom once a week for 2 hours.
Can I comment on that?
This has gone too long, and we need to start supporting Abby's relationship with both parents in a healthy manner, not a fun parent versus a different type of parent.
Let me just interject. I believe this is our 3rd status check since we appeared and basically mentioned that the matter had settled, and then it's been a matter of trying to finalize this. And my concern is, as time continues to go to pass without finality and closure, it's as if things are going off the rails. And I'm troubled that we're not at that place of closure. Now, again, things happen, tragic things happen, and I know that impacts work that's done. But this has gone on long enough, and I'm either at the point where I can look at setting that 4th status check, which I'm always, it just bothers me when we status check a case to death, and this is exactly what we're doing in this case. I don't like going down this path, but certainly I make those accommodations, and I've been very open about continuing this in the past, and let's set it out another 3 weeks. But I get the fact when we reach the point and it's a position of what else do we do? And short of me saying, you know what, I had an opening come up 2 weeks from today, a trial setting slot open up, let's reset it for trial, and that's your deadline to get it resolved. Get me your decree of divorce. Otherwise, show up for trial. We finish what we started. I don't want to go down that path. I don't know that anyone really wants to go down that path. But there are issues that Ms. Hauser points out that need to be addressed as it relates to Abby's progress, which is, we had prior reports that things were actually moving somewhat in a positive direction previously. Now everything's just going off the rails. And this is not good. So do we come back in 2 weeks for trial? Do I set a 4th status check? Mr. Schneider, what do you have to say?
Your Honor, I'm in agreement with Michelle on quite a bit of this. I think that Family Court Wizard's a great idea. I think that the UNLV co-parenting class, I think that's a great idea. I think that, actually I took a few notes here, but my client went to Miss Hart, Dr. Hart, and said, hey, because Michelle indicated that she expected Mike to, well, and the court even said this, we expect you to tell Abby she has to see her mother. So Mike had that discussion with Dr. Hart. Dr. Hart said, hey, forcing or threatening Abby to do anything, she's going to shut down. And right now, Dr. Hart believes that she's doing quite well. And this is what I'm just reading emails between Mike and Dr. Hart, that Abby's doing quite well. She's coming into her own. She's happier. Her grades have gone from abysmal to straight A's right now, Judge. And what Abby's position is, and some of the, what Mike's explained to me is that Abby wants her mom to come to without having to be invited. She wants her mom to actively get involved and come to school. I mean, the schools have this logon thing. You can see the calendar.
And Lou had to return my phone call. That's all true. But Abby's also made it very clear she wants to call the shot. So saying mom should do this and do that when there's not a clear communication is causing more issues. Mike, your client needs to communicate and be a front runner and not just say, Abby, and use words, Abby, you need to have a relationship. His actions need to mimic it. And when Abby missed visitation due to COVID and she tested negative, the appropriate response was to reschedule. They had a visitation, not to take her out of town.
Well, and Michelle, by the way, these aren't vacations. They go fishing in remote locations so they don't get exposed to COVID. It's like a father-daughter. They go fishing, but I agree.
3 weekends in a row, Luke. 3 weekends in a row. No.
Okay.
No.
Look.
The priority needs to be Abby, and your client needs to foster it, not by words, by actions. No, we can't make Abby. It's going to make it worse. But he needs to make it a positive situation and include mom on it. Not say, I want you to have a relationship. 3 weekends in a row is inappropriate.
And Mike was told by Dr. Hart to stand down and stop trying to fix the relationship. So we were told Dr. Hart's going to call the ball. I have not even to this day not spoken to her one time.
All right.
I have no contact with her.
All right, look, you want a trial date in 2 weeks or a status check?
Your Honor, I can, if Audrey wants to meet over the weekend, I'm sure we can get most of the decrees sorted out. But Judge, I'm not comfortable taking pre-tax dollars and trying to match it up to whole dollars and saying that this is equal, because they're not.
Judge, I need to respond to that.
All right, and
Mr. Schneider?
I want to know the same answer from you as well. Trial in
What
2
Mr.
weeks.
Schneider is trying to do is undo what we've already put on the record. He sent me this email. Mike is trying to change numbers that we put on the record with your help. I said, Mr. Schneider, I requested the video. I've got time sites in there. Please go review the video with your client. They are now trying to change numbers that we put on the record that you've already addressed. So again, why am I doing all of this work 3 times? Because Mr. Schneider and his client won't go review what we already put on the record and agreed to with your Honor's help. This is not okay. They need to do their due diligence, and they have not done that.
Well, let
It's
me
not
ask you
true, Your Honor. We have got most of this nailed down.
Ms. Beeson,
Mom doesn't get. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me just ask Ms. Beeson, and again, it's in preparation for today. I did not review what transpired at the hearing when terms were placed on the record. And if what you're suggesting is that you have prepared the order that you've referenced, is it a decree of divorce or simply an order that you're looking to have signed off on?
It's an order from the April hearing with three things that are missing. The amount that Mr. Lovelady has paid the GAL. Based on that number, I can do the community property equalization payment. And then we were trying to determine pre-tax versus post-tax. We can't do that, so it would just be, this is what Dad is awarded from the 401k, and this is what he owes Mom. It really is that simple.
It's not, though. Audrey, you want to give your client a $15,000 credit for money that my client is paying back. She's not paying back that money. That's wrong. You got to admit that's wrong.
Judge Duckworth already addressed that, and if you went back and looked at the video, you would see that we had that conversation with the judge.
Right, the judge said if he got $15,000, she gets $15,000, but he's paying it back. She's not going to pay it back. That's not
and
fair.
Judge Duckworth said it would be just like if Mom had taken a loan and she had paid it back. Did you review the entire video? I did.
That's not correct. You made something.
Yes, it is.
Listen, I'm setting this for September 7th at 1:30. I'm going to treat that as an in-person appearance here in court. Bring your proposed orders with you. I'll review the prior proceedings. obviously I'll take that off if you submit a stipulated decree. That's all I'm looking for. Now, in the meantime, I agree with Ms. Hauser. I'm ordering that the parties participate in the UNLV cooperative parenting class. That the parties begin communicating through Our Family Wizard and sign up for Our Family Wizard by the close of business on August 27th, this Friday. That's going to be the communication and calendaring tool for the parents. I'm also going to order that for the next 3 visits, Mom use the breathalyzer. The parties are to equally divide that cost, simply to ascertain whether or not there's an additional issue. I want to be clear. I'm not doing it because I believe that there's an issue with Mom. My concern is again the empowerment of the child and what she's doing to try and create a basis for the dysfunction in this relationship. So those are going to be my orders, but that's less than 2 weeks away, and we need to wrap this up.
And Your Honor, what about individual therapy for Dad? Because Mom is doing the same thing. I think he needs to learn other techniques too, and coping mechanisms.
What's Dad's position about participating in individual therapy, Mr. Schneider?
I believe he's been going to a therapist for over a year now. Is that correct, Mike?
Went to a therapist for a year.
What's the name of the therapist?
I was seeing Diane Donovan Bond. That was early on, though. I saw her from about March of 2019 until COVID started.
All right, so I don't have a problem including as part of the order that each party is to participate in individual therapy. I would like to review the prior proceedings in terms of what terms were placed on the record. So I will do that, and that's why I say certainly have orders prepared, but my preference would be just to have that final decree done. It's time to wrap this up.
Are we going to leave child support at $180 a month, or are we going to set real child support?
Well, I'm trying to. Was that discussed at the time of when the resolution was reached?
Now
put
he's
a
trying to
temporary
undo
order-
an agreement on the record?
We put a temporary order in place that Mom was to get counseling and pay a nominal amount of child support. But now things have gone on for a long time. My client, and as Michelle has said, he's got de facto primary custody. Mom doesn't even see her, but we're trying to fix that. But I don't think it's right that Mom's not paying the appropriate amount of child support.
And Your Honor, I would request that on the best interest of the child that be deferred, because to the level that Dad has de facto is because they're not co-parenting and they're not working as a team. And we shouldn't punish one parent. I mean, yes, Abby from Dr. Hart's position is doing better, and she is ready to go do joint sessions with Mom in September. But there has been a significant delay. I understand Abby can't be forced, but that doesn't mean Dad has no culpability in encouraging that relationship in healthy ways.
I'm not
So
gonna,
we're not deferred.
I'm not going to address that issue today. Okay, we should have an order
Thank you.
prepared related to these other items though, and then we have that date set basically as a fallback if you don't have a decree finished by that time.
Thank
If
you.
we're in a disagreement at that time, we'll hash it out in court. Is that the court's
Yeah,
intention?
that's what I intend to do. It'll give me a chance again to prepare and review the hearing, and I want appearances in person.
And Your Honor, do
Thank
I
you.
need to be at that hearing or I mean, I can be, it's not a big deal.
You're welcome, but I think the major focus is probably going to be on these financial issues and wrapping up that aspect. Okay. All right. Thank you for your appearances.
Your Honor, who's
Thank you,
gonna
Judge.
prepare?
Thanks, bye.
Who's gonna prepare?
Any volunteers to prepare?
Well, since everybody signed off, I guess I'm stuck.
Or I can have the minutes, Ms. Beeson, if you'd rather not. I can issue an order.
I would
based
rather
on-
not have to charge my client for this,
and
please.
I appreciate that. The court will issue an order based on the minutes.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.